Hi, I'm Nell Schofield and welcome to the Art Club. This week we're in Kyoto, Japan, and this must be one of the most beautiful places on earth, where culture and nature seem to have found a perfect harmony. For 1,000 years, Kyoto was the capital of Japan, the centre of power and religion, and it's still one of the most culturally rich cities in the world. But it's not all just about the old and historical. There's lots of new and exciting things happening here too. And that's why we've come to Kyoto, to take the artistic pulse of the city. On this week's show, we get a sneak look at a very exclusive concert in a temple. We visit an artist giving new meaning to the mall. And we go on a cultural tour of some of the most exciting new art in Japan. Kyoto is a busy city with over 1 million residents and all the infrastructure, industry and commerce that modern cities have. The difference is that there are still lots of reminders of old Japan within the city, like the original wooden houses that have been the traditional Japanese buildings for centuries. You can wander around and feel that nothing much has changed for hundreds of years. There are still many active Buddhist temples and Shinto shrines that are outstanding examples of traditional Japanese architecture, some dating back 1,000 years. This is the Daikakuji Temple, a working Buddhist temple that's been on this site for 1,100 years. Usually it's a place of quiet contemplation, but right now something very special is going on inside. It's called the Otobutai, a performance that brings together some of the very best artists from Japan and the rest of the world. We've been allowed a behind-the-scenes look inside, so let's go in and see what's going on. The temple has been taken over for a single concert, the JAL Daikukaji Otobutai. This annual event takes place in a different Buddhist temple in Kyoto every year. And what makes this concert truly unique is that the performers come from all over the world. East meets West, as different cultures and disciplines perform together, creating shared work. How do you feel performing in this temple setting?
I love it. I love it. It's very inspiring. The place is very inspiring. The trees and the stones, and it's very peaceful. It has a very peaceful energy for me. I've never performed in a temple, and I think I'm going to like it.
The theme of this Otobutai is Requiem for the 20th century. What do you hope to achieve with this theme?
この大覚寺というお寺の歴史は
The history of the Daikakuji temple goes back to the time of Emperor Saga, who prayed at this temple every time there were famines or battles. He would have prayed for peace for his people. I chose this temple because it is a symbol of peace. As we all know, the 20th century saw many tragic wars and disasters. I think it is an appropriate place to ease our pain from all those terrible memories at the end of this century.
Not everything goes to plan. The Otobutai has been happening for 12 years now, and always out of doors, so everything has to be impeccably planned. As they say in show business, the show must go on. There are 7 performances in this year's Otobutai, including Secret Garden, a hugely successful European group selling over 4 million records. They play a mix of traditional Irish rhythms and modern sounds. The running theme of the Otobutai, East meets West, is highlighted by Belen Maya, a Spanish flamenco dancer, and Mari Uehara, who plays the biwa, a Japanese lute. This is the first time they've worked together, and it's not all that easy to find common ground.
They asked me to try to relate this music to the guitar music, to Spanish guitar, and it's very difficult because it doesn't have a steady rhythm like flamenco, so I have to be very careful about it, listening to it and trying to respect it as much as I can, and still dancing sort of flamenco.
Do you really think music has the power to change the world?
Yes, although I only speak Japanese, I felt that through music I can communicate with all the different races and creeds. Together we will use music as a language, almost like a conversation without words.
While traditional culture remains strong in Kyoto, consumerism has had an enormous impact on daily life. Miwa Yanaki is a local artist who draws inspiration from one of the more bizarre elements in the Japanese consumer environment, the elevator girl. Going up? Miwa Yanagi is an artist who's interested in the relationship between people and their environment, especially those communal spaces, or non-spaces, that we all drift through on our way to somewhere else. In this traditional Japanese house, she creates art that explores the vast commercial spaces where we all spend some part of our lives. The endless shopping arcades, corridors, walkways and hallways that we pass through, never stopping, like in a dream. Miwa Yanagi's focus is on the elevator girls, the only permanent fixtures in this constantly shifting space. These girls are employed in Japan to greet customers as they enter and leave the department stores, repeating the same speech and gestures hour after hour. This video is a performance Miwa Yanagi made with models as elevator girls. She choreographed their movements and greetings, exploring their glamorous yet empty world. Miwa Yanagi was trained in fashion before becoming an artist and is still fascinated by the visual allure of clothes and the social codes they imply.
そうですね、一言で言うなら付加価値だと思いますね。
To sum it up, the job of an elevator girl is not necessary. The elevators will operate with or without the girls, but at the same time, they can be seen as flowers. Not necessary, but they make the environment pleasant. They wear elegant uniforms and look like royalty. I am interested in them because they appear as mystical, dreamlike beings.
Originally, Miwa Yanagi simply criticised their role to be bought and sold, like the goods on display, like a commodity the customers can consume. Nowadays, she has an ambivalent relationship with the elevator girls. Why should one deny somebody the pleasure of being looked at for one's own beauty? Is it based on male perceptions of female beauty, or is it a woman's choice? In many of them, you can't see their faces. There's a sense of anonymity. They're almost like clones, these elevator girls. How does that reflect on Japanese society? Are you trying to make a comment about Japanese society by using these girls?
そうですね、ある程度そうだと思いますね。
Yes, to a certain extent, especially in terms of young Japanese girls, because they are either conforming to their role or they feel secure copying the style favoured by their peers. I find that rather strange, but I don't necessarily condemn it either. In my work, I depict a sense of comfort in having no personal identity and feeling security in being in a small, confined space.
Miwa Yanagi has somehow touched on a partnership that we all share, an insatiable consumer union between products and people, a union of sexual and material desire.
Previously, I treated the girls as models, but for my new project, I am trying to bring out their own individuality because I realise that behind the facade, all the elevator girls have their own individual dreams and ambitions.
Arigato. We're going to take a break now, and when we come back, we'll be looking at the most exciting new art here in Kyoto, and we'll also have some art news, so stick around. Welcome back to the Art Club. This week we're in Kyoto, Japan. And in just a moment, we'll be taking a look at some hot contemporary art of the city. But first, it's time for some art news.
You can floss after you eat.
The 15th annual Wigstock event took place in New York City last week, featuring drag queens and bizarre performances. Every year this event gets bigger and bigger, with more elaborate costumes, hairdos and performances, many of which leave the audience staring in disbelief. Among this year's performers is Sweetie, a regular at Wigstock for more than 10 years. For Sweetie, the event is a lot more than just a bunch of drag queens.
Well, I mean, it's of course it's about drag, but it's also about just like, you know, liberation and being free and being able to express yourself and have people like revel in it instead of like look at you, you know? They look at you in the most wonderful ways.
Wigstock draws hundreds of people each year. However, many of the performers can be seen in local New York clubs all throughout the year. Others wait all year to be a part of this unique event. Sotheby's, the international auction house, has admitted selling fake furniture after the British Sunday Times newspaper investigation established that it's been trading in bogus antiques for years. 4 Georgian chairs worth £1.3 million were exposed as being forgeries. But it's now emerged that 2 other wealthy clients have also bought period furniture at Sotheby's, which is counterfeit. 2 senior members of the furniture department have resigned over this affair. The 50th anniversary of the People's Republic of China has been celebrated with a giant cake. Decorated with the Chinese national flag, images of the Great Wall and other traditional landmarks, the cake took over 2 days to bake.
The main theme is the 50th anniversary, and above all, we wanted to celebrate this event, so we decorated the cake using mainly Chinese themes: the Imperial Temple, the Temple of Heaven, the Great Wall.
The cake is not just a celebration, but a world beater. It's joined the record books as the biggest ever cake. Kyoto is dotted with lots of shrines and temples from all the different religious sects in Japan. But only one of them, the Honenin Temple, has something rather unique taking place inside. Honenin, under its chief monk, has for 15 years now allowed artists from all disciplines to exhibit in the temple. This current exhibition is called Object Light by the artist Osamu Hashimoto. What's so compatible about art and religion? Why do they work so well together?
Religion is a way of discovering yourself by coming face to face with the gods. Art is also a way of discovering yourself by stimulating your senses. If the art space in the temple can provide both of these experiences to visitors, whether they are religious or not, it's not such a strange scheme.
This idea of moving the culture forward is nothing new, especially here in Kyoto, where a large number of young artists are trying to push the boundaries even further. Now, I'm a girl who doesn't mind exploring new frontiers, so I thought I'd go and try and find some of these new artists on my cultural tour. Kyoto has a strong and vibrant contemporary art scene, larger than you would expect for a city of only 1 million people. The reason is that Kyoto is an educational centre with a large number of universities and colleges. Afterwards, many of the art students stay on and work in the Kyoto area. On the Sanjo Road, Gallery Coco is showing the work of Okamoto Mitsuhiro, a local artist who is shown all over the world. Mitsuhiro is interested in the effects of Western commercialism on traditional Japanese culture. As foreign values and products have entered Japanese shores, new tones and forms have appeared that were unknown to traditional Japan, like the colours used by one of the best-known American computers. Mitsuhiro, who are all these characters in your painting?
These people are the cast from a famous TV program in Japan called Shoten.
Aha. So they're from a game show. And why have you put them in your art?
It's a game show based on a Japanese comedy tradition, but the cast wear kimono with colours similar to the Apple iMac computer. I like the mismatch and contrast this creates.
Fujitama, now who is this character, this mask that you put on?
これはもともとパプアニュー
This mask is a copy from an original Papua New Guinea tribe. I like it because it has a sort of empty face, and I use it as part of my art.
何しろそこで英語が通じるのはそのクマルさんしかいなくって。
小さい頃掴んでパンダを見て以来パンダを飼いたいとずっと思っていたんですよ。でもパンダは大きすぎる。
それ私密閉容器で4つ。
Fujitama, all your paintings are telling stories. This one I can hear saying tobacco. Is there a general theme running through all these stories?
これらの話は全部
These stories are all mysterious. Could be true, but could be false. There are 7 of them in a series, and the series is called The Storyteller, which suggests a kind of person who tells many suspicious stories.
A little further away, on Karoamachi Road, in the shadow of the very traditional Imperial Palace, is a very untraditional performance group. Dumb Type are a loose collective of dancers, musicians and artists who have toured all over the world. Their performances can be so powerful and loud that members of the audience can be physically ill, but few are unaffected. Can you tell us the philosophy of Dumb Type?
Dumb Type, we continue thinking about the border, about between human and human, or human and nature, or human and technology. There are many kind of border.
How is this expressed in your current work, OR?
We started to make this performance from our friends' deaths.
Their deaths?
Yeah, and one of our members died about AIDS, so we feel the border between life and death.
Dumb Type are about to embark on a new world tour and will be visiting Europe first. In Japan, guns are totally prohibited, and like in most countries, toy guns are only ever used by boys. Well, almost. Former potter and now gun artist Okayama Taku has given a new meaning to audience participation in his new show, Pop Gun, Our Guns Never Kill. He asks girls to shoot clay copies of their childhood toys with air guns. Why he didn't just ask the boys to play with the girls' toys, I've no idea. Anyway, it seems to be quite popular. As one girl said, it's pitiful, but it's great fun. outrageous. Well, that's about it for this week's show. I hope you've enjoyed our visit to Kyoto as much as I have, and that you'll join us again next week for another exciting edition of the Art Club. Bye.